Let's talk about the third Saturday in October, Tennessee versus Alabama. Tied, favored by 8.5 points. Interesting, with how well they've been playing the last couple of weeks. This is an interesting one because they had Damian Harris, the former Alabama running back, on the radio earlier this week. And he said that this was always a bigger rivalry game than the Iron Bowl, that this was always their actual biggest rival, which is tough because they usually beat Tennessee and they did not always beat Auburn.
That's where I think he's trying to throw a little bit of shade here to Auburn people specifically, and Tennessee a little bit, because it's like, yeah, we always beat you because you're our biggest rival. And then for the Auburn people, it's like your little brother and you're always going to be. And I think it's a little bit of a mind game here, but I absolutely love it.
Probably. It's also like that Mad Men meme where it's like, I don't even think about you. You know, where it's like 100%. You're just like fixated on me. So this one should be a fun one. I mean, it should be a lot of points in this one, like you were just talking about with Georgia and Ole Miss, because Tennessee's defense will allow it. And then Alabama, it's been hit or miss. They haven't really seen a passing attack like Tennessee's, one of the best in the SEC and the country. And then again, what happens with pass defense that has been pretty good. It's averaging less than 136 yards per game, more interceptions than touchdowns allowed. So that will be an interesting matchup, in the secondary and on the back end of this defense for Alabama. Meanwhile, you have the questions you have about the offensive line for Alabama. And then also, like, Ryan Williams hasn't been involved. He was a non-factor against Missouri. And listen, like Jeremy Bernard, there's other guys that Ty Simpson clearly likes to throw the ball to, but that's a little bit of a question mark. And again, I just wonder, hey, which one's going to hold true? Alabama's defense has been good against the pass, or Tennessee's one of the best passing offenses you're going to play, and that's going to expose some things in Alabama's defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough one. And I'll say this about the Tennessee offense. The thing that makes them really difficult to defend is they run routes based off of defensive leverage. So if you're in a zone, they will run away from where the zone defenders are. So that's sitting in the soft spots. It's stopping routes that maybe are supposed to go deep, things like that. And then if you're in man-to-man, they just try to run by you. Like, they just try to run really good routes and get guys open that way. So I'm very curious what Alabama's plan is going to be into this one. To your point, like for Tennessee, can they still have that offense that they need? I think the biggest key for Tennessee is, can you get pressure on Ty Simpson? I think he's playing as well as anybody, but we have seen now that maybe he's a guy that you can touch because the offensive line has been up and down for Alabama. And also he loves to make plays, and he might hold the ball long enough for you to be able to hit him. And if you hit him, you might get the ball out. You and I talked about that last week. So this one certainly to me is interesting. Overall, I think Alabama is the better team. I think they're really good, even with the reservations that I have about them. And for Tennessee, I feel like they've played too close with teams that I don't really know about, haven't necessarily capitalized on the opportunities. So I feel very confident about Alabama getting this win, and I feel confident about them covering in this game.
I picked Ty Simpson as my midseason Heisman winner. So I'm with you. He's, Kirby Smart said it a few weeks ago that he was like the hottest quarterback in the country. I think that's stuck in my mind with the way he's played and just some of the delivery of some of these passes into really tight windows. He's just been incredible. So I'm with you on picking Alabama. I'm going to say that it's going to be closer than 8.5 points. So I'm going to take Tennessee to cover because it feels like we could end up in a Tennessee-Georgia situation, but part two. And that this could be a little bit of a wild one that comes down to a couple final plays or maybe even goes to overtime. So I am going to take Tennessee plus 8.5 there.